Hello, my name is Inci Turkoglu. Welcome to my exhibition titled The Goddess. I'm an assistant professor at Pamukkale University and I do my art in acrylic colors as a hobby. But since I have an art history background, I prefer the historical themes in my paintings. So here is my poster, and the poster depicts the beautiful Artemis from Ephesus Museum in Selçuk, Turkey. And I picked this sculpture for the poster because the exhibition is at the Ephesus Museum in Selçuk. That's the reason. From 5th through 9th of October 2022. And let's go and visit the exhibition. Here is the Hekate art gallery of the museum for temporary exhibitions. And here is a piece, Nike. This is my interpretation of the high relief on display at the site of Ephesus, down from the State Agora. So it's a high relief forming the spandrel of an arch on the left side. So the symmetrical one is missing. But I used the lower right empty field and filled it with a B, the symbol of Ephesus. I took this B from a queen of Ephesus and did it a little bit transparent. This is my tribute to Ephesus, one of my favorite sites in Turkey. And in this exhibition, I also put a panel for myself, describing who I am in Turkish and English. And then here we are. Of course, the exhibition has a manifesto, both in English and Turkish. I'm telling you about the theme of this exhibition, the goddess, because this goddess, the divine feminine, is native to Anatolia. Anatolia is the name of the Asiatic part of what is modern Turkey today. And in the 750 through 550 BCE, when the Greeks came and colonized the coastline of Anatolia, they found local goddess cult at every place. And these local goddesses were appropriated into the Greek mythology and pantheon, but they took these Greek names onto them. Okay, so here's the same manifesto in Turkish this time, Tanrıça. And the most prominent ones include Artemis, Hecate, and Aphrodite. And here is a description for Artemis in English. And Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo, the virgin goddess of the hunt, wilderness, wild animals, nature, vegetation, childbirth, and so on. She was heavily identified with Selene, the moon goddess, and Hecate, another moon goddess. Diana is a Roman version. And the Ephesian Artemis, or Diana Ephesia, is the distinctive form of the Greek goddess Artemis, because at Ephesus, the local goddess was associated with Artemis. Okay, here is the piece from the poster. This is a depiction or an interpretation of the beautiful Artemis, a sculpture in the museum. Of course, I have my own interpretations, because when you have a sculpture three-dimensional and you put it on a two-dimensional painting canvas, it is different. And for example, I put modern astrological symbols for the signs instead of putting those animal reliefs, low reliefs on the original piece. So this is my Artemis of Ephesus, my version, the top part of it. It's a beautiful piece in marble. But when we come to the Greek goddess Artemis. She's a huntress, the god of hunt. And here, this image of hunter Artemis is from a queen of Philadelphia in Lydia, my hometown where I was born. She's always depicted with the quiver and the bow and arrows. This was the obverse type of the coin. And I have two other images of Artemis, the hunter or the huntress, again from coins. She is very baroque, flying. Her costume is flying around because she is in action, she is moving. She's about to pull an arrow out of the quiver and prepare for shooting. And in the next one, again from another coin type, she's about to shoot her arrow and her hound is about to jump off. So this is the Greek goddess Artemis, very different from the Artemis of Ephesus. And here we continue. Of course, we have a place for Athena, although she is not of Anatolian origin like Artemis is. The issue is when the Greek colonists came and colonized, especially the coastline, they built a temple to Athena, because Athena is from mainland Greece. She is always depicted with wearing a helmet, holding a shield and a spear, and this is also from a coin, from a silver coin. And she is the goddess of war, wisdom, and arts and crafts. And here in Ephesus, in Selçuk, modern Selçuk, we are in the Cayster Valley. We call this river Little Meander. And in this valley, we have a city called Hippaipa. And in Hippaipa, there was this lady called Arachne. And she was so talented with weaving that she challenged Athena. And Athena and all these Greek gods and goddesses are so jealous and very arrogant that Athena turned Arachne to a spider, because Arachne was really talented. Athena doesn't like rivals. Okay, maybe the most authentic or indigenous one is Hecate, a virgin goddess. You hear nothing about her in Homer, but Hesiod tells about her. She is depicted sometimes with three bodies, triple-bodied. She is associated with crossroads, entrance-ways, night, light, magic, witchcraft, the moon, knowledge of herbs and poisonous plants, graves, ghosts, etc., etc. So, Hecate has a sanctuary at Lagina, Lagina, in Caria, and I'm a team member of Stratonikia and Lagina excavations. Stratonikia in Caria is by the city of Yatağan today, and the sanctuary of Hecate at Lagina is only 9 kilometers or 5 miles north of the city. And there's a temple and a sanctuary there with very striking evidence of earthquake damages in the structures. It is famous with the relief friezes. Some of the pieces are in Istanbul archaeological museums. As far as I know, some of them are at the Louvre, if I'm not wrong. I took this depiction from a statue on display at Afyon Museum in the inner western Turkey, halfway between Izmir and Ankara, let me put it that way. Hecate is depicted with torches, holding tall torches, and I used the red color because on that sculpture the traces of red paint is clearly visible. That's why I used it. Triformis, Hecate triformis with 3 bodies. And another Hecate triformis, this one comes from coins. And here the 6 arms or hands hold different objects. On the coins I checked, there are either 6 torches or 6 different objects, and I prefer the different excuse me, different objects. Now I need to explain one thing, since this is my first English recording. I do not give any facial details on this kind of compositions when the faces are smaller, because the identity or the facial expression is not important. But when it comes to the former one, since it's a blow up, zooming, I do give the facial features, but no eye pupillas. Because, in human nature, even the newborn babies prefer looking at human faces, but here the face is not important. Important point here is the 3 bodies, the objects they hold together, and this is Hecate. No stories in Homer, so she's indigenous Anatolia. Anatolia is the name of Asiatic Turkey, a geographic name for us. Here is another Hecate with a single body this time. She's riding on a lion. Her shawl is flying around. The lion's head is turned back towards her. This is also from coin depictions. Stratonicea also has such coins, and this is also the logo of the excavations. Hecate and Stratonicea and Lagina Sanctuary. Another indigenous deity is the Cybele, or the mother goddess, Gaia, Rhea, Demeter, Magna Mater, Kubaba, all different names. And I picked 2 images for this. This is originally a low relief carving on display at Ankara Museum of Anatolian Civilizations, a Phrygian Cybele, Kubaba. She's enthroned, and she's sitting on the back of a crouching lion. And since it's a relief in origin, and when you put it on a 2-dimensional canvas, you need to balance the colors, the shade and light effects and so on. So I put a band of gouache about the knees and on top of her headgear. As you see, this mother goddess, she has a veil coming all the way from top of her head down to her ankles, just like the others. And here's a Roman version of Cybele. She's standing, and her hands are on the heads of 2 lions flanking her. She's also flanked with a crescent and a star. I took this depiction from a coin of Attuda, a city in Caria, very close to Denizli, Pamukkale area. And again, no facial details. Another version of this Anatolian goddess is Selene, the moon goddess, or Luna in the Roman version. For Selene, I used a sculpted head on display at Aphrodite Museum, and I put the crescent behind her shoulders, and I have this beautiful Selene. The original piece is also beautiful. And then I have 3 pieces, the last 3 pieces related with Aphrodite. Now, Aphrodite is Venus in Roman mythology. And Venus is the goddess of love, sex, lust, bounty, especially in today's astrology, is all related with money and beauty. And this is a high relief tympanum, a semicircular tympanum, on display in Aphrodite Hall in Aphrodite Museum, which is on the site. I call it Birth of Venus. She's holding her long hair, she's full naked, and there are these two mythological figures, two men, flanking her. Looks like in an ocean, as she was born from the sea foam. And here comes another bust, and this is the Aphrodite of Ephesus. Any relation with the previous one? No, because this is a mother goddess, and you see the veil coming down from her headgear. All the way down, there's a star on her headgear, and there's a crescent on her bosom, as you see in the decoration of her clothing. So this bust is also on display in the Aphrodite Hall of Ephesus Museum, the mother goddess. And here is a Roman version of Venus from a carving on a spandrel on display at the yard of St. John's Church in ancient Philadelphia, my hometown. And as she is very bejeweled on the head, on the forehead, and around her neck, I thought this would fit Aphrodite better than any other goddess form. And so I have three pieces related with Aphrodite and also a text describing Aphrodite. So the local goddess of fertility in Aphrodisias was transformed and appropriated as Aphrodite in the Hellenistic period. And since Aphrodite is the mother of Aeneas, whose descendants Remus and Romulus founded Rome, she was very much venerated by the Romans, and Aphrodisias was an important place for the Romans during the Roman Empire. And it's a beautiful site, beautiful carving, sculpture. There was a school of sculpture at Aphrodisias. Strongly recommended for a visit. So, here is a view, a general going in the reverse order. Okay, let's see Artemis as well and finish up this recording. The huntress. And Artemis of Ephesus. Ephesus from one of the 7 churches in the book of Revelation. Thank you for taking this tour with me on my exhibition titled The Goddess, and hope to meet at another exhibition next year, hopefully. Bye bye.